Okay, so we just got back from the store and I got the table all cleared off so that we can put the items that we bought on the table. But I have an issue because this little fella thinks he owns the table. And honestly, we don't eat at the table much. It usually is just a catch-all. But he is just so desperate for pets that he's just all over it, being a Mr. Stinky. This is one of the original This Is Me videos on a Vlogmas. So I think this is my 6th Vlogmas, and today was shopping day, which usually is horrific. So we got up this morning, left by 6:30 to get to Sam's to buy gas before it started loading up with people, because by the time Sam's opens for full public at 10 o'clock, you may have to stand in line for like an hour to get gas. It's pretty popular, but it's really good gas. But after getting up early, going to shop, my hair, oh my gosh. I went to Walmart and it was like 3 of the things that I was really going for weren't there. My hair color wasn't there. What else wasn't there? It's so frustrating because I wanted to buy mascara, and I've been buying mascara at the Dollar Tree, and you only get just a teeny tiny bit. And so I was going to buy some at Walmart, but every single one of them was locked. I guess people steal them really bad. So to get anything off the wall, you have to go get the girl that's taking care of the makeup to unlock it and everything. And it was really more than I wanted to spend anyway. It was like $6, and I'm used to paying $1.25, so it just wasn't working for me. And there was a couple of other things I couldn't get. Jamie was a hyper. He was in a great mood, but he was super hyper. And what that means with Jamie is he never sees a stranger, and he's running up and talking to everyone, and he gets on his phone to talk to his friend or whatever, and he's talking really loud. And I usually, rather than, shush him or something like that, I just usually walk on. I don't have a problem with him having fun. What I have a problem with is, because of my ADHD, I can't multitask, and it really just messes with my brain. I can't think about what I need to buy or anything like that. So I usually shoo him along to just do, all of his socializing and have all of his fun. And then when we got home, first thing that hit me, as some of you may know, we lost our old dog, Doodle. She was a tiny little poodle, and I'd had her for like 15 years, and I loved her so much. She had been with me through so much. And we lost her due to old age and some health issues last week. And I cried for like 3 days. And then I finally started getting over it a little bit, but it still hits me ever so often. So there's certain things that we had habits of doing, her and I. First off, she would come to the bed. She slept with Joe mostly, but she would come to the bed about 6 o'clock in the morning, cold or something like that, and she'd scratch on the side of the bed, and I'd pick her up and put her under the cover so she could get warm. And then because our bathroom has 3 doors in it, one into Joe's bedroom, one into the other bedroom, and then one out into the hall, whenever I'd go to use the bathroom, she'd always scratch on the door wanting in Joe's room. And I miss those things. But today, when we came back from the store, she was the loudest barker. She was just so excited for us to come home. And she is from our old family. She was the last dog left from our old family. And she was particularly close to me and Joe because she had been with the both of us her whole life. So usually when we came in, me or Joe, one would pick her up and hold her while we were getting settled. And today when I pulled up, I almost cried because she wasn't barking. So I'm not going to cry though. I'm going to be strong. Did you just see that? I just dropped the phone. So anyway, I have to check and make sure I got it right. So when we come home, she wasn't barking. And it made me feel sad. But then we came in and right away Jamie started getting cramps in his toes. They were really, really bad. And so he was just carrying on something fierce because he had cramps in his toes. So I was getting him some herbal tea and I was massaging his foot and all of that stuff. And then I wanted to rest for a few minutes because Jamie and I especially are like exhausted when we come home from the store. We always have to have a nap when we come back from the store. And I was trying to sleep and I heard Rhonda growling. And she usually only growls this particular little guttural thing when she's got like a snack she don't want Noogie to take away from her or something. And I thought, what is she doing? So I sat up and I looked down and she had gotten a hold of the doggy toothpaste and she had eaten the end out of it. Apparently she really likes this toothpaste and she had chewed out about half of the toothpaste. You know, it's one of those days. Okay, so we rushed out this morning. I didn't get to do any chores and come back. You pile in all of these grocery bags and stuff where you've gone shopping. And suddenly the house is full of eye clutter. It's not any dirtier than it was before, but I really, really dislike eye clutter. And for 3 people living in a small space, you can't hardly avoid the clutter. It's just most of my cleaning is just putting stuff away. I'm having ADHD overload today. And I know I've got to start doing my titty bits. I know, I've been stoic all day, so I've been doing really, really good. It's just like craziness happening everywhere. And I'm just like, la da dee da 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 dee dee. But it was like, yesterday's video and the day before's video, Vlogmas, was about stoicism and handling your ADHD meltdowns and your overwhelm. And then yesterday was about, achieving your New Year's end of the year resolutions. And it's like I got tested on everything that I said on those last videos today. This is just a segment. I'm going to add to this a little bit later. One thing that I didn't add is, I think I talked about it earlier, a Christmas tree is so small and the space underneath it's so small we can't put gifts under it anyway. And we had decided that we are more or less going to take the month to shop around and find the things that we want for Christmas. Because, you either have to order it or you have to look for it or you're pondering things. It's really hard to get it all together so you can just like open gifts. So Joe had bought 2 new computer games. And he's enjoying those today. So I've done most, because we're having to share one computer right now. He's enjoying his games while I do these videos mostly on my phone. And that's okay. This evening I'll finish it up and edit it out. But just been a wild day. And Jamie was commenting on, it's just today's been so crazy. It's just been awful. We can't get through one thing before something else comes up. And I'm like, when things get crazy, you just chill. Just chill your way through it. Find something to do. Take a nap. Just do whatever you have to do to chill. Just chill your way through it. Anyway, I'll be back later. in a little different segment because I'm piecing this one together.
This is the sort of finishing up of my video. Today was really a difficult day. I kind of ended up getting in a little bit of a low spirit because, you know, sitting too long, resting too long, thinking too much, blah, blah, blah. And also stoicism kind of kicked in, and then I just had this, a little bit of a numb feeling take over, and kind of a sad feeling take over, and then numb feeling. And sometimes I think that I've gotten to where I just don't hardly feel anything at all, which is a little bit scary, and I probably need to talk to my therapist about it. I mean, you can only hurt so much until your psyche starts rejecting it. And maybe that's a good thing. I'm sure that it's a protection thing. But the thing that I want to talk about tonight, and as you can tell, I'm wrapped up with a blankie. You can't see this, but I'm going to show you. I have my one of my favorite cups with hot chocolate. And the lights are down low, and let me see if I can adjust this to show the Christmas lights are sparkling. And I also have a candle, and it looks like a forest fire or anything, but it is just a small little flame. And the candle just makes me feel warm. We keep a candle going in the living room. It adds heat, number one. It adds a little bit of heat, and this is the coolest room. And number two, it adds a little bit of ambience. And we just have this little thing that we do, and when we light the candle each week, and actually we would go through like 2 a week, we say a prayer for all the family and all those we love. And but these are things that comfort me. And I feel the need for comfort tonight, and that's okay. So one of the things that I want to talk about is how especially during the holidays when we're facing different emotions, and I don't know about you, but my emotions have been pretty erratic. I mean, not in a destabilizing way, but it's like one day I'm up, one day I'm down, one day I'm energized, one day I don't want to do anything. And so I thought I would make a video showing me enjoying my little time of self-comfort, which is perfectly okay. But what I want to talk about is the fact that my whole life, from almost everybody at one point or another, family, friends, teachers, church friends, church pastors, everybody, nobody has really ever taught me that it's okay to feel my feelings. I've always been taught that if say for instance, some feelings are not necessarily good feelings. So say I'm feeling pettish. Well, being pettish is not a good thing. But if you're feeling pettish, it is kind of like a pain in your elbow. If you have a pain in your elbow, you need to find out what's causing it. And if you're feeling pettish, there probably is a good reason. So you shouldn't act pettish, or you shouldn't act on your feeling. But what you should do is ask yourself a lot of questions and find out why you're feeling pettish. If you're feeling angry, chances are you probably know why you're angry, but rather than act on your anger, you should ask yourself the questions, why am I angry? If you're feeling sad, it's the same thing. If you're feeling discouraged, it's the same thing. If you're feeling deactivated, or you're disassociating, or your avoidance has taken over, again, don't act on these emotions, but feel them. And I'm going to use anger because that's the most obvious. But if you're feeling angry, sometimes I know who I'm angry at and why I'm angry, and sometimes I just feel angry. Now, you don't want to act on anger, because if you act out on anger. You're going to hurt somebody. You're going to say things that you shouldn't say, that you're going to be sorry about. You're going to, it's not going to go well, because feeling angry and acting on it are two entirely different things. I think the Bible says be angry and sin not. But if you're feeling anger, it's like a pain signal. So whatever you're feeling, try to think of an emotion that you're feeling right now. Whatever you're feeling, you want to act on it. But if you don't act on it and you just sit with yourself and feel it, add some prayer to it, but just feel it. And ask yourself, why? Why am I feeling this way? And then, ask God to help you deal with it or whatever, but you don't act on it. You just allow yourself to feel it. And oftentimes when you're taking this time to feel your emotions, if they're hurtful, if they're painful, a lot of times that will dissipate. Of course, grief and sadness are the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. My grief and sadness stems from a lot of different directions. And I can't say all of them because there's more than I can count. But now I don't fight it. Because in the past it was, oh, you're just being silly. Oh, you need to just push that out of your mind. Or you need to get over it. Isn't that the worst thing ever? When somebody says, oh, just get over it. Or why are you spending so much time thinking about yourself when there's all of these poor miserable souls in the world starving to death and homeless? And all of that is true. But these are horrible, horrible ways that people in your life will systemically shut you down to keep you from feeling your emotions. I've done this to people. I've done it to my children. I've done it a lot. But I'm putting everyone on notice, whether you're old family, estranged family, family that's connected to me now, family that used to be family, or friends, or anybody. If I have ever shut down your emotions, and I know that I have because I used to be of that corrupted mentality, I am telling you now that that is the worst advice ever. Feel your emotions. So, tonight I have kind of a mixture. I've been overwhelmed all day, but I know that's not the end of the world. I'm going to feel better probably tomorrow. A little drink of hot chocolate. I'm going to feel better tomorrow. But I have been overwhelmed, and there were a few things that happened today. Nothing serious, of course, but a few things that happened today that I got my feelings hurt just a little bit, because, my feelings are pretty easily hurting. Not because I'm a bad person, it's just I've been hurt a lot, and I still have some scars. But what am I feeling? Well, I feel quite avoidant and detached. And I will talk to my therapist about it when I get a chance to go, and I've already talked to John about it. And, it's like run away and hide feeling, I have a real mixture. It's like a bouquet of emotions tonight, and I always have a tendency to be more emotional in the evening. In the morning is my grief time. If I'm going to have a grief cycle, it's going to be in the morning. Or if I take a nap. If I take a nap, I will wake up feeling grief sometimes. Missing my kids, missing life, missing things I used to have. Missing my old family. And but it's not as bad as it used to be because I have processed through a lot of that. I can remember a time when I would wake up in the middle of the night just hyperventilating, and just that was when I was having brain swelling, of course, and I was very dysregulated. But I have learned how to process my emotions. And the first step is sit with yourself and try to discover what emotion you're feeling. Try to put a name to it. And then just allow yourself to feel it. How many times have you heard people say, and you've probably heard it a million times said to you, don't feel sorry for yourself? Well, shoot. If you are feeling sorry for yourself, you do it. You allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself, at least for a while. But usually when you allow yourself to feel your emotions, then they go away. And they're not as painful. And you may come to some understanding of why you're feeling that way, and you can go to the person or deal with the situation and use I statements. I am feeling hurt, or I am feeling angry, and this is why. Now, don't display your anger. Don't necessarily display your hurt. Just tell them, I am feeling this, and I think this is why. Now, if you're dealing with a person that, is empathetic, they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean to hurt you. But sometimes you're not dealing with somebody that's empathetic. Sometimes you're dealing with somebody that's rather heartless, and they'll say, oh, you're just overly sensitive. Well, yeah, you're overly sensitive. But if you're not going to get closure from a person because they are not empathetic, you're forced to hold those feelings in. So you need to process them. You need to learn to understand them. And sometimes our feelings stay within us, and that is rather sad. I have learned down through life that I'm so much better off to hold my feelings and process them within my own heart than to share them with people that really, they're just going to say I'm playing the victim, or I'm just, selfish, or, and I have been way too much of an oversharer, but those days are about over. I've got to a point, and I go through all of this stuff with my therapist, and I research almost everything that I go through so that I know I'm not doing harm to myself. But when you have nobody, and many times in my life, it's not necessarily that way now, but when you have nobody that's going to acknowledge you and your pain or your suffering or your sorrow, you can process it in your own heart in a healthy way. But it takes quite a bit of time of sitting with yourself and analyzing what you're feeling, why you're feeling, and then in as healthy and loving way as possible, forgive the people and make up your mind how you're not going to act on your emotion, but how you're going to process it and how you're going to move forward. This may not seem Christmassy, although I've got the Christmas lights and everything. But what I want to say is this is very Christmassy, because that are sitting maybe alone on Christmas, maybe sitting with family. Maybe they're in a group of a lot of friends, a lot of family, but they feel isolated within themselves, and they're feeling uncomfortable emotions. And what I want to tell you is, in this Christmas season, allow yourself to feel your emotions. Allow yourself that freedom to process your emotions within your own heart. And then deal with them in an empathetic way where you can walk away from that situation feeling better about yourself, knowing you said the right things, you did the right things, and you didn't prolong the pain or pass the pain off on someone else. Never sometimes people are to blame for your pain. And I've had people that's caused pain in my life, and I have caused pain in other people's lives. But when you have pain, at least as an adult, you're responsible to process that pain in what I want to call a godly way, or a kind way, or a good way. Keep love in your heart. Don't let anger be your best friend. Anger will make you ill in your body. You need forgiveness, both for yourself and for others. But do go forward in this Christmas season. Feel your emotions and do those things that comfort you. Get you a nice warmy blanket. I got a chill today when we went to the store, and it's like I couldn't get warm after that. And I kept trying to get warm after I came home, but finally I did. I finally, got warm. And I love a nice warm blankie, and I love it when my fur babies curl up with me, and I love to have a little fire going. That one little flame looks so huge in the screen. It looks like I'm holding a torch, but I assure you it's just one little candle flame. And then, a nice comforting beverage. And you may be doing this and comforting yourself and crying in it, just feeling really, really sad. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not okay. You feel your feelings and you acknowledge your feelings. Just don't act on them. Don't act on them. I am going to say good night. This is Vlogmas 6 on the 7th of December. And this was a little helter-skelter video, but I am really, really glad that you came to share this with me and that you listened. I thank you. And I don't always say this, but if you would, like the video, subscribe to my channel. If you would, comment, because, I love that when I want to build a community of like-minded people. So I'm going to say good night. I'll see you on the next video. I'm sending you all a hug. Night, night.